We keep it real.
We keep it raw.
We keep it uncut.
All day.
We are
Marriage Takeover.
Hey, it's your girl Tamika.
It's your boy, E-Rock Nim.
We also have in the house Chef Mike.
Yes, celebrity Chef Mike is in the house one time for what? That double two season. Feel me? Yeah. So hey, once again, it's your boy E-Rock Nim with Marriage Takeover. And my phone is turning for those that are on TikTok. I'm gonna have to jump on it in a second. Go ahead, Dave. Tell them who we are.
It's a lot.
I don't know. So we are Marriage Takeover. We help couples win in their marriage by identifying their triggers and breaking generational cycles. So welcome tonight to Kitchen Conversation.
Yeah.
We are excited. So Chef Mike, what's on the menu tonight?
So we have a salmon grilled cheese with zucchini. We're gonna take out the fries because I left the potatoes at Giant. So it's definitely for a reason.
So you paid for potatoes at level?
I gotta go back and get it.
Oh my goodness, did you call?
Nah, it's $3.99.
Well, that's what happens when you're a baller and
You
such.
balling out of control.
Oh man.
Good stuff. Well, listen, welcome. Tonight we are talking about unspoken expectations, right?
It's a little round. Hey.
Oh my gosh. So Chef Mike felt bad for us the last kitchen conversation. We almost burned down the kitchen.
Yes.
No, time out. When she almost burned down the kitchen.
Oh honey, they can't even see me on TikTok.
Oh, they can't?
That's messed up.
What is going on?
We got to catch
So she gotta come down here?
Yeah. Bring this on down.
Yeah, slide down this way, baby. Get on the corner.
Yeah.
We're still trying to work out the circumference of the kitchen.
There we go.
So-
Wait a second. Can you see my stomach?
Nah.
You can't see my
They
stomach.
cannot see your stomach.
Welcome to Kitchen Conversations. We are excited to have you all on this evening. So we're talking about unspoken expectations, right? What are they? Why are they? How do you get rid of them, right? Because we all have them. So now how do you get rid of them? And go.
Oh, my bad. I'm trying to make sure the
So
camera is
in the
set right.
chat, let us know. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Kitchen Conversation. Let us know what you think of what are the unspoken expectations.
So, and I love having I love it when Chef Mike stops by. So I'm gonna just real quick give you a quick rundown on my man Chef Mike. First off, this is celebrity chef. You can catch him. You can catch him on a few Housewives of Potomac.
I'm in the back.
Yeah. So they tried to squeeze him out, but they couldn't because it was just too good. They kept talking about it. And but what was so funny was if you caught us 2 weeks ago, he felt bad because wife almost burned down the kitchen.
I did. It was just wifey?
Yeah, it wasn't me. I knew what I was doing.
It's called Marriage Takeover.
I knew what I was doing. So
I know that I almost burnt like the fries, right? I had the fries up too high. But if y'all recall, the burgers were up flaming high too.
the burgers was not. There was no flames nowhere.
My goodness.
So, but hey, I understand. They always try to come at me. But that's it right there. That's a great segue into tonight's conversation is unspoken expectations in our marriages. And so the funny thing is that Chef Mike is going to be jumping the broom September 2nd. and I don't know why he asked me to marry them. So I don't know why. We still praying on that one.
Yes, Lord.
So we're talking about unspoken expectations.
Yes.
And so even if you saw the last kitchen conversation, you will see that there was an unspoken expectation that she thought I was going to cover her on the dish that she said that she was going to cook. Well, because
it was just the fries.
But because I didn't cover it, what happened? Things burnt. So this is what happens in our marriages when we have those unspoken expectations, because now we can damage something that didn't really have to be damaged, because it comes down to what? Comes down to how we communicate with each other.
Right. So what are some of those unspoken expectations? Right? I know when we first got married, our unspoken expectations were, who was going to take care of the cleaning in the house, right? Who was then?
You know what, man? Hey, let's hit it. What was the big thing that almost crushed us that was unspoken? You know what I'm saying? We bring it to you real.
The providing of the house.
We
right?
bring it to you real and raw.
The expectation of, that was big though. We were fighting over who was y'all. It was, right? We were fighting over who was gonna clean up the bathroom. And I was specifically waiting, because I was being petty at the time before petty was a thing. I was waiting.
Petty always been a thing.
It's always been a thing. We just put a name on it. We just put a name on it now. But I was waiting for like he would. It was just trifling. He would take all his clothes off, dirty drawers on the floor, not a hamper.
With skid marks, Slim.
Not a hamper. The hamper wasn't even far. The dirty clothes hamper wasn't even far away from where he put his dirty drawers.
I missed the
So
shot.
I'm just like, can you just pick them up, put them away, so I don't have to clean up after you?
Hey, listen. Because
but that was an unspoken expectation, because I felt like I was cleaning up after a grown man and I shouldn't have to.
But see, this is the thing though. Check it. Because when you come into a marriage, you already come into a marriage with a pre-notation of what marriage should look like, or what things should be done. It's just like, look, you got Chef E-Rock now and you got Chef Mike. But what is the known thing? That the woman is supposed to cook. No. Chef Mike be tearing up at his house. I know, I drive by there on my way home to pick up a plate. But as you see, when Chef Mike is kicking back children and laughing at me, I'm in the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? So that shows you right there that no, you got to know what your dynamics are before you start having these pre-notions. So you can't go off of, the woman's supposed to cook, clean, and the husband just supposed to provide. Things change. Because I keep it with you.
Can you slide over to the left so we don't get the extra spray over all of the food before?
Listen, it's out. Chef Mike said it's yours.
So my question is, if I cook, do I expect her to clean?
Now,
That's
this is
hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's an unspoken expectation.
That's right. So I can't get mad if she don't do it.
You can't because.
But I'm telling you, when I tell you. The bathroom would be so nasty, and I'd be like, I ain't cleaning it, I ain't doing it, because I'm tired of doing it.
But just like he was saying, and that's the thing, it's just like my man said, what we have here is a failure to communicate.
But I would think it should be.
Say that again.
I think.
Exactly.
So when you,
like I told you years ago, stop thinking.
But when you think and you don't communicate it, that's where the problem lies. Like that's where the problem lies.
Right.
Because it's your thought process, and you have now an expectation that we don't even know that you have.
But and the thing is, you have an expectation of a pre-notion that does not work in the dynamics of your home.
Right.
And so now I'm real quick disclaimer. Understand that the camera runs, the feed runs, is a slight delay. So if you have any questions, throw them in. We will circle back and answer the questions, and you know what I'm saying, and we can keep the conversation rolling. Just real quick, we forgot to say that at the beginning. And so, and that's the thing. But the funny thing is, we keep unspoken expectations because we say to ourselves, "Oh, they supposed to know that."
Right, and that's where I think the problem lies when it comes to anything. When it comes to and we're just like that surface when it comes to cooking and cleaning. But let's talk about when it comes to sex. Let's talk
I
about
can't say nothing about
Listen.
it. I ain't married.
Woo!
Really, baby, all in front of the food. Can you not do that in front of the food?
Woo!
Please and thank you.
It's terrible.
So
Lay my hands on it. Hallelujah.
not in front of the food. So
But they're like, we ain't eating over there.
right.
Hey, you see how long this island is? Praise
Oh
the
my
Lord.
gosh.
He is worthy.
So
Y'all better learn how to anoint the house.
so let's talk about that when it comes to sex, right? Let's talk about that when it comes to your intimacy. Let's talk about that. What are your expectations? And then what if I don't want to give it up every time you want it? What is that expectation? And then why are you putting that expectation on me? Or maybe we need to communicate about it.
But then,
Why you pause?
Go ahead.
Why
Go
you
ahead.
pause?
What you got?
Well, to me, that's a problem because if you say you don't want to tonight, but then you want to tomorrow, so if I shut you down, that's a problem.
If you shut me down, that's a problem.
Yeah, you're going to think, oh, what are you doing that you don't want this situation? But it's okay if you say, I got it. I'm not moving.
So then my question is,
So you're right. That's
but hold on.
Right,
But-
right.
but this is the thing.
You're right.
This is one thing I gotta ask.
Because I'm going to ask questions.
Hold on, good. But this is the
But
thing.
you're right, and it's not fair. You're right.
So hold on now, wait a minute. See, this is the thing that trips me out, right? Why you got the lie though? Knowing you ain't got no headache, because see, this is the
But
thing.
sometimes we might have, or if we're tired.
But guess what?
Wait. I know I might be a little outnumbered tonight, but the
No, you ain't got number. They over there equal. They over there.
Ladies, can you check in with me, ladies? I know you can barely see my ladies.
You got my back dog.
Don't leave me out of myself.
What that song was, girls on the world. No, me running this joint right now.
Girls, we run the world.
We running it right down this kitchen.
But I think the challenge is women, and I'm not saying that men don't do a whole lot, but women, we do a lot. We work 2 and 3 jobs. We take care of kids. We keep stuff moving and going so that it doesn't fall and hit the ground.
So,
we're running businesses. We're doing all these different things. So if we're tired, then we're tired.
But
So-
you signed up for this.
I signed up for what
For
though?
marriage.
I did.
So
But what I'm
regardless of
saying
all
is-
that other stuff, you still have a marriage at home besides
You're
working.
right.
so now,
You're
ooh,
right.
come on.
You're
So
right.
now, but
You're absolutely right.
but this is
that's
what
where
happens.
The unspoken expectations
That's
are
true.
because then we need to have a conversation and say, wait a minute. Now we need to make sure that we're balancing this thing out so that we're balancing this thing out so that I'm not so tired, that I'm not so distraught, that I'm not so stressed at the end of the day. If I'm not that stressed and you're taking stuff off of my back, then guess what? You can get on my back.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
but this is.
I agree.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. We got a question.
But oh no, this is like just me. No one said
No, okay, no, you know. So
Stay home.
listen. So I'm gonna ask you this. Wait a minute. So now it comes to what are your priorities? Like you said, I'm tired. I got this. I got that. I got this. So then it comes to what are your priorities? So when you sit back and look at your priorities, everybody always say it's God, my family, then everything else, work, school, whatever.
Right.
But now it comes down for when you come home and you're saying you're tired. Now, where does family fit in your priority? Because if that was the case, I'm gonna tell you, like, check this. No. I got to finish this.
You're right.
And so it was a point to where I would get off work, go coach, then come home, dog tired. She pulls me up, so therefore she voiced her concerns and says, we're your family, we shouldn't get your scraps.
You're right.
No,
That's true. That
So
is true.
when she said that, I came home, I drank a monster on my way to the house,
It became a
and
monster.
was ready. I was ready. Why? Because I did not want to give my family my last. I want them to have everything full, just like I gave it to everybody else, but I wanted to give it to them plus more.
Right.
So why does that flip-flop, why does that flip-flop, now it's time to get it on. Let's get on.
My mind says so, but when they want something done, there's no such thing as a tired man.
You're right. And so you're absolutely right. And I'm getting soaked on here tonight.
No,
You're
no.
absolutely absolutely right, but I think
we just asking questions.
you're absolutely right, and so I think that's where the conversation needs to take place because it is an unspoken expectation. Because I expect Eric to do a whole lot.
A whole lot.
Eric expects for me to do a whole lot. The problem is where we don't communicate to say this is my expectation of you, and if I can't meet that level of expectation, I need to communicate that, and we then need to reason and meet halfway.
But see, and that's where that thing comes, that you have to be able to meet halfway. You got to be able to come together, because if it's an unspoken expectation, guess what? I don't know what's going on in your mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, well, how do you expect me to know that?
Right.
So it's just like, now, at first, when I started doing all the cooking, my wife said I'm a dirty cook.
He is a dirty cook.
I don't clean up like Chef Mike do. Chef Mike cleans up as he goes. I wait to the end.
It be grease all over the
Wait a minute.
stove and
We ain't point stuff out. But I would like leave the dishes, eat, and then it'd take me 15 years to clean them all up. But it got to a point where I just had it was a little unspoken expectation that she would clean up after I was done. Just like Chef Mike had pointed out earlier. But guess what? That moment I said, look, Sean, I'm in this joint cooking. Listen, I come home from plowing the fields. And now I'm in the kitchen. It's like, come on, help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? But my expectation was spoken.
So then the question that I have is, why do we wait until we're frustrated to communicate our expectations?
Yeah, that's it.
Because you need to be in a mad place. You can't
Why?
say it in a happy place.
Like, again, it goes back to what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Because if we're doing effective communication, you should not wait until you're mad and frustrated to communicate to me your expectation.
Yeah, listen. You got it, huh? Is there a question?
I just say, if you think about it, the unspoken expectations goes back to that BS.
Yeah.
And so
It is.
So you got to be able to cut through the BS. So if you would like to know, dang, somebody put a whole paragraph in that joint. What you say?
A man said, but we see that you are tired, and we try to take the load off you, but you don't.
Like to give up the load.
They'll see us tired and do it without telling us or throwing it in our face at the end.
Ooh, that's good. A part of that might be because there is, and so we just mentioned cutting through the BS. It's that belief system.
Right.
So a lot of times if the female, like there were times where I didn't understand, like I grew up with a bunch of sorry men, right?
Let's just
So
say lazy.
Sorry men. And so I didn't understand how to celebrate a man. I didn't understand how to love a man properly. And even, I feel like I got to get the camera for this one.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Chef.
And even in the midst of not understanding that, what I had to learn was that when I got frustrated or when I was expecting something of my husband, that I needed to then communicate that to him. And he had to then let me know, this is how I feel when you do this. This is how I feel when you say that. And as he did that, I was then able to course correct. Because the last thing I wanted to do, I mean, we married. The last thing I want to do was have him feeling horrible and making, slapping him in the face because he's feeling tired, or slapping him in the face because he's doing something. But it came from a trigger, right? It was a root for me because every time I saw him, playing a PlayStation, or every time I saw him, can I just be real? Like every time I saw him playing the PlayStation, every time I saw him taking a nap, every time I saw, like it was a trigger for me.
It was a PlayStation 1.
And it reminded me of, dang, I grew up around all of these sorry men, and did I just marry me a sorry man?
See, now
wait a second, Mary. So it was a trigger that I had to make sure that I went and I really dealt with my issues, because if I don't deal with my issues, the same issues that I have, I'm going to now put them on you as a man. And then it's going to tear you down. It's going to make you second guess yourself. It's going to make you think differently. It's going to make you behave differently. And at the end of the day, you ain't going to want to be home.
Ooh.
At all.
Ooh.
So I had to course correct and change my behavior, because I realized that my triggers, my issues, my insecurities, all the stuff, that all my isms, all my BS was now pouring out onto Eric, and he had no idea where it was coming from, and it wasn't fair to him.
But at the same time, my belief system was also the same thing. Remember what I was talking about earlier, that pre-notion. Oh, this is what. Well, the funny thing is, it does not matter how long your parents been married because they have their dynamics that you was raised under. Guess what? Now you got to know what your dynamics are. What's funny?
Hey, Nikki from Alabama. Hey, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I'm screaming. I wasn't meaning to scream at y'all. I'm sorry I'm screaming. If I was screaming, y'all forgive me. I'm screaming. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Kitchen Conversations.
The mic is far away.
She just got excited.
I just got excited.
And that's the thing is that when you have that pre-notion of what it should look like, now it's like, no, because that's not the dynamics of our house. It's not the dynamics of how we work.
Right.
And that's the thing that you gotta, okay, what is our dynamics?
Right.
That's where you have to now begin to sit down and have the conversation. So you do not have a failure to communicate.
Right.
Because then you're speaking your expectation.
Thank you, Luciu. Appreciate you.
You're speaking your expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore it should be none unspoken. It's like at this point, at this junction, I'd be like, look, Slim, nah, I ain't trying to see if you're gonna read my mind or not.
Right.
And that's one thing. Why do women always think that men are mind readers?
Hold on. I want you to
y'all-
hold that, but Jimmy
Yeah, what y'all
asked what you cooking. So we got Chef Mike with us this time because we almost burnt down the kitchen
Yeah,
last
so I
time.
decided to come help my good folks out. So we doing the salmon grilled cheese with fried zucchini.
Sweet.
Boom.
So
Yeah.
why do we expect for you all to read our minds? I think a lot of it is because, and here I'll speak for myself. I won't speak for all women, but I will speak from the place where I was broken. I will speak from the place where I was insecure. I wanted that attention. I wanted you to see me. I wanted you to chase after me and really make me feel like I was wanted, like you. I wanted you to feel like
That smells good.
I wanted you to pursue me and love me enough to keep asking me what was going on with me.
Hey,
She wanted him to chase the chase.
yeah.
And
I'm like, dang, we married now. The culture got the handcuffs, locked in, and everything.
That was one reason. And the second reason was sometimes I didn't really know how I was feeling or what I was feeling.
Woo, come on,
So
baby.
in order for me to communicate that, I first needed to know.
So what you're saying is that we got to first look at.
He said, send it his way. He hungry.
So
we gonna freeze a plate for you.
Oh, there was.
You want the black or the clear?
It's up to y'all. Don't matter.
And so the thing is that we have to sit back and say, hey, listen. No, wait a minute, that's not what I was saying. Oh no, what I'm saying, you have to look at, hey, okay, I understand those are your issues. And now you gotta look at, okay, what is it that I'm dealing with that's not working the dynamics of my home? It's not saying that there are not gonna be times that you don't see eye to eye, but if you can learn to communicate effectively. And now I'm gonna tell you, because we have a 5-day challenge coming up on the 18th.
It starts Monday.
On Monday. So if you would like, because we're gonna break all of that down, how to communicate effectively.
We're going to be talking about your triggers and where they come from, the root of your triggers. Because the reality is like, y'all, we're not just fussing and fighting over, like it's dumb stuff we fussing and fighting over. So get to the root of why you're fussing and fighting. I tell people all the time, like we used to fight over, like the toothpaste. Eric, had a certain way. Sorry. So there was a certain way. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going on. I'm so sorry.
And so we're breaking all of it down because guess what? We have been there. We know what it is because we had to stop and decide. If we allow the rest of our marriage to look like this, we're not gonna make it.
Right.
And so therefore it's like, no.
We decided.
Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I be an effective listener? Why did she have to think I'm a mind reader? This is what I'm asking because you cannot better your marriage if you cannot better you.
Right. Right.
It's not you changing for it's not you changing for her. Or you know how to say, yeah, girl, you got to change your man. No. Because no one has no power to change anybody. But
can I just say that? And you're gonna lose every time you try to change that man or try to change that woman.
You're gonna
every single time.
Because you don't have that power to do that. But you have the power to change you. Yes, and so when you sit back and be like, you know what? Because everything I couldn't change. So I just sat back. I said, you know what? We're just gonna let that jump play out. Why? Because, and the funny thing is, she started to work on her first. But when I saw me, you know how sometimes we be negative sometimes. It wasn't working. Oh, I had to change my whole strategy. So guess what I started doing? I started looking at me.
Right.
So I'm telling you, hey, on Monday, you can log on to...
No, go to beforeISayI'mDone.com and you can sign up so that you can be a part of the challenge. We're going to have some good stuff. We're coming to you every single night, Monday through Friday, all next week. And we are going to be dropping some nuggets. Like, if y'all thought this was good, and I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all have no idea how much we appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Lucian, thank you so much. So appreciate you guys. Janice, I see you over there on Mike's feed too. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to be dropping some nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Because our whole thing, we're on a mission to help couples win in their marriage.
Exactly.
Period, bottom line, you can win. And we want to make sure that you know you can win. And we want to get in the trenches with y'all and make sure you win.
And if you're even thinking about getting married, you might want to join in too. So I'm telling you, it's going to be something. So let's get back to it.
We get back to
the unspoken expectation.
Okay.
So understand. So let me ask you this question. This is what I want you to think about. What is it that you have said to your spouse? What is it that you have, what have you not spoken to your spouse about that you have an expectation for? Think about that. And look at how many times have your spouse failed because they kept missing the mark of what your expectation was.
Right.
That's true.
Think about that.
It could be as simple as like your relationships, your friendships, how you raise your children, how you discipline your children, how you your finances.
Right.
Like, it comes in so many different facets.
It comes in so many. Yeah, like she just said. I gotta repeat it. And so, and that's the thing, because when you have that unspoken expectation, now you're thinking that your spouse needs to live up to something that they don't even know. So just like as Chef Mike, I'm putting him on blast real quick.
Lord,
just like he was saying earlier, he was like, if I'm cooking, you clean the kitchen. Well, how you gonna expect for her to clean the kitchen if you ain't saying nothing?
That's true.
And so that's the thing, because then it's like now I don't know if Chef Mike went there. Now he walking around the house mad because he been cooking all week and ain't nobody think to get up to clean the kitchen.
Right.
Well, it's like, well, what you upset for when you ain't said nothing?
Right.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Now she trying to be generous. But now now you walking around the house with an attitude and she trying to figure out what you mad for.
Right. That's typically what happens.
That's what happens.
Now you're trying to figure out, okay, what did I do? What did I say? Like, what happened? Like, we were just good. Now what's going on?
So, it was one time, her car was dirty. She ran the house. She was like, upset. I'm like, yo, you good? And then it finally came out, are you going to wash my car?
Question.
So,
Yes.
Why do you ask a woman the same thing 5 times and they say it's nothing bothering you? Even though we know it's something bothering you, but you're going to keep moping and poking and finally say something that we already knew that was wrong.
Well, again, I think it goes back to, I can't speak for all women, but I know for me and my brokenness and my insecurity and me not knowing how to communicate, like sometimes it's also a trigger. Like, that's what my mama did. That's what my grandma did. That's how my aunt does it. So that's what I've seen growing up. That's all I know.
And
that's all I know.
But then, and sometimes it's not just that. Like she was saying, it comes from a place of brokenness. But also at the same time, it can come from a place of not trust, because when you did be, help me out my English, because when you did be vulnerable,
When you did open up.
when you did, thank you, honey, when you did open up, you were trampled over. So
Right.
now you're gonna have to ask, because now I need to know, are you asking me because you're really concerned? Or are you asking me so that you can have another dig at me?
Or maybe it's a thing about being strong.
And sometimes it's
So-
about being strong.
And you know what? Let me break this down for all you strong women out there. Let me tell y'all something real quick.
Yes.
You can be strong, because God knows
Spatula
you all have had this
over
over there.
there. Is that?
There you go, bro. So, here you go. Here you go. This might be a better one right here. Okay. So, listen, you can be strong. Wait a minute. You can be strong. If you are a strong woman, let me ask you a question. Why do you need a man to come in and be strong if you're already strong? You gotta understand.
Sometimes it's for companionship.
Hold on, but see,
Sometimes it's not to be lonely.
but now,
Sometimes I just need a cuddle bunny. Like it's a couple of different
no, we
reasons.
can't have a couple. Okay.
I'm just saying.
So now let me tell you that she's a strong woman. So the first half of our house, we sit here acting like rams. Who's the alpha? Who's the alpha?
We got y'all a couple of comments.
Okay. What we got?
We also have on TikTok too. Let me make sure we get that. So
Yeah,
it doesn't go.
that's what I'm looking at.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Lucia said that they have strong expectations of top quality, and they failed because they were expecting the same thing from their ex.
Ooh, that is so good, Luciu.
That's it right there,
That
Slim.
is so good.
That's it right there.
That is so good.
And you actually in my notes before Monday, but it's okay. I appreciate that though.
Yeah, no, I love it. And he was raised by a strong Nubian queen, and he knows how to cook, clean, and do household duties.
Hey, and guess what? I'm just like you, because I was
love
raised to do the same exact thing.
Love it.
I'm just, and that's the thing. So, and when we're hitting like rams, it's like, hold on, wait a minute. If you're already strong, why do you need me here? Because see, you gotta understand, a man, when you go back and look, you gotta go back and look at the design of a real man. Because here I had to let her know, like, look, y'all.
And we got Elevated Crafter too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. So she said that being strong, you do stuff on your own and not to be bothered. So that's a part of what a strong woman does. You do things on your own so you're not bothered.
So again, right. So now when you
But then
have
she also said, ask me what's wrong and I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to say it 3 different times. Right. My girl.
hey, I ain't gonna lie, I like you, Slim. I like you. But
Check the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get to the Facebook page right now.
I don't know if I should read this comment out loud, but
What
someone
does it say?
said
Read it.
Just
someone
read.
said that they don't feel strong right now when it's the beginning of their separation. That they feel so much pain and it's hard not to cry.
Oh.
Sometimes you gotta let it out.
listen,
No,
gotta let it out.
I appreciate that.
log on, send us your email. We would like to.
Email us.
yeah.
Have that person. Can you respond on the page?
Just put our just put our email address up if it's there. And
Reach out because I want to make sure that I connect with you. Okay, so please, thank you for joining and tuning in with us tonight. But I want to make sure that I connect with you because I don't want you to feel weak in this process at all.
Right, and then I want you to know, hey, it is okay. It is okay. And so what I was saying was, when you have that strong woman, because you gotta understand, how can you do it by yourself when it says that 2 heads are better than 1?
But sometimes
But now you
you got
gotta-
to work together.
And that's where you have to begin your communication process, because you can't work together because of the unspoken expectation.
Yeah.
But what if you've been hurt so much and you don't know how to communicate?
But that's the difference with love.
But then that's also vulnerability.
Woo!
Vulnerability.
Oh, y'all gotta join the challenge, man, because
So
we get deep in this
That's
now.
vulnerability and trust because now I have to trust you with my deep, with everything in me. And sometimes I don't know how to do that because I can't let go of the hurt. Sometimes I don't want to trust you enough to give you all of me. And I think sometimes that hurts us with our unspoken expectation because we've been hurt, because we've been scarred, because we've been trampled upon, because life has served us what it served us.
Ooh,
Then
come on, girl.
sometimes we can't trust our spouse or trust our partner with all of everything that we are. And it dampens the relationship because now they're trying to figure out, well, what did I do wrong?
Why can't you lean on me?
Right. What else can I do to let you know that I love you? And the reality is it's not them.
Yeah,
It's me.
Come on, and that's the thing because that's why it is so important because one thing that we misunderstand love.
Right.
We know how to say it, but we don't know how to actually work it.
Right.
Because understand, love puts you on the cross every day. Love. That's because I've been broken before I got you. But when you say you love me, then don't give me piece of your heart. Give me your whole heart.
Right. And,
so
it hurts the other person because that person hasn't been healed. Right? Like if you haven't been healed in the process, then it's a challenge because now the other person truly can't love you and serve you like you're supposed to be.
It's gonna make me give up.
Right.
But you keep fighting and get no results.
But that's the thing though. Love covers a multitude of wrongdoing.
Right, but then the reality is how long? No.
I'm not done yet. But love is patient.
Yes.
But you say, but I don't have that. But then now you begin to understand how deep your love goes. Right. Because now it's like, okay, am I willing to do the things so that I can keep? Because I just fallen out of love. No, you really haven't. It was a choice.
Right.
And so it's like, nah, listen, boo, I think we might need some help. Let us contact Marriage Takeover and let us have a sit down with them.
That's a good comment. Everyone jumping into relationships before dealing with their traumas, so now they're waiting for the letdown.
Yeah.
But I like that. But guess what though? Let me ask you a question. Who jump into a relationship and expect for it to fail? A lot of people do. A lot of people, because guess what? You are expecting your relationship, your companion to fix the voids that are in your life. It's not going to happen. Right. So therefore, you're coming into it with an unspoken expectation.
Right. Hey, Kind Heart 55, welcome from TikTok.
So it's like,
yes.
And so you got to be like, hey, you know what? Because when we jumped in, I said, listen, I had to tell her, I'm not your daddy. I mean, you might call me daddy. You feel me now? But it's like, no, I'm not your daddy. Why? Because it was like, you're filling the void. No. And real quick, I just want to say, don't get me wrong, I salute all you strong women out there. Henny Businesses was not a dig on it just for a second, because I don't want y'all to see me like, oh, you are. I don't want you to do that to me. So understand. It's the companionship. So you got to make sure that you have your conversation so that you do not have any unspoken expectation. Because don't get it wrong. It's like I asked her, it's like, I told her one time, I said, if you so strong, come on out here and help me in this yard then. No, you got it. But now she wanted to be a damsel in distress.
No. Because if I get out there in the yard with the weeds and the pollen, I'm going to come back looking like a tree monster.
Whatever.
I'm just going to be swollen and be coughing and hacking and carrying a dog.
There's a question.
Yeah, we got a comment on TikTok.
People getting married for the idea of being married and not for the work to be married.
See?
Yes. Who said that? Elevator crafter? Yes, ma'am. Yes, they are.
And I'm going to tell you.
And they want to get married because it looks good, because they get married for the wedding. But they don't put in the work necessary for the marriage. And that is an unspoken expectation. Yeah. Because you thinking that you've been playing with Barbie and Ken the whole time, that's how your marriage is going to be. Nah, that ain't it. I had to let them know right now. Look, girl, listen. I know I might look like Superman, but I ain't him. I had to tell her quick. Yeah, I know. I might feel like Batman, but guess what? No, I ain't him. You're absolutely right. I might have the strength of the Hulk, but I'm not him. I'm sorry. I don't have blonde hair flowing. Yes.
I'm Michael, not your dad. Right?
And someone else said, why should one go into a new relationship and want to look at the other as things from the former relationship? Yeah, it's because it's that comparison.
Everybody deserves a fair chance.
Everybody does.
Everybody.
But this is the thing though. It's just like everybody is so used to carrying their baggage. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter. A lot of people go into the relationship already giving them a fair chance. But the first time they do something that reminds them, they compare. Right. Why? Because they're still carrying the baggage. You got to learn how to unload the baggage.
Right.
And that is the one thing that is hard for us to do, is that I don't know why we love to carry our hurts.
Right.
We love to carry our hurts and pains, and that's the stuff that wears us down. Like,
Who
no.
taught you how to get out the pain?
Huh?
Whoever showed anybody how to get out of it?
Well, that's the problem.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why.
We don't know how to get out. We don't know how to get out, and then we don't want to go to therapy for help.
And you know, and I'm telling a lot. Listen, this is why marriage takeover is here, because guess what? We can show you how to do it, but guess what? You got to be willing to put in the work.
You got to put in the work.
Because
what if you don't know God?
If you don't know God,
if you don't know God, it's gonna be in your heart.
Because He's the core to every. Like He's the essential source for everything.
So it's
gonna be much harder if you don't know God.
Right. It's gonna be much harder if you don't know God, because guess what? The more that you try to get out of that thing, guess what? The more that you'll
find yourself
going
deeper
down
and deeper and deeper, and then not knowing
because,
how to get out.
Because you don't have that source to hold on to. Yes, because listen, we are firm believers in Christ, and because we saw it for ourselves. You can't say, well, how did you get out? I'm gonna tell you right now, Christ was number one.
Yeah.
I cannot say because hear me, we was on our way to divorce. I was getting ready to get rid of this chick.
I was like, deuces, baby.
I had
kids.
But when I called on the name of Jesus,
right?
And then stupid her.
It's stupid people.
Hey, he showed me what the bill would be if I leave versus if I stay. So I said, okay, we can stay. I think I hold on to what you need me to do. I'm trying to tell you.
We got a question. They say they're single, in search of a companion. Can they attend next week?
Ooh, see, this is only for couples because we're really digging into it. We don't really deal with singles.
But at the same time,
but you can absolutely learn from everything that we are going to be out, pouring out. So you can learn from. You can attend
because it's free.
It's free. You're gonna and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start we're gonna dig into the triggers, right? We're gonna dig into why you think the way, why certain problems, certain things bother you so much. We're gonna then dig in through the BS. What is your belief system and why? We're gonna then talk about the communication and effective communication. We're gonna talk about sex and intimacy. Now, if sex and intimacy is gonna bother you as a single person,
you might want to miss that day.
I wouldn't do that.
You might want to miss that day. You might want to miss that day because we get into it. And then, because even when you join, there is a help me out, baby. I can't never explain it right. But because from the free thing, we have a after party on each night where we actually going a whole lot deeper, because there's only but so much that we can really share. Right. But then we really get into it at the after party. So if you just go on to
beforeisayimdone.com.
Yeah, beforeisayimdone.com. You put that up. Beforeisayimdone.com. And go ahead and register. And you can follow from there. Yeah. Because we getting it in. Why? We gotta listen, during COVID, so many marriages failed. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, us, because of the place of where we were, because we put in the work, man, I didn't want to go back to work. I was like, you know what? I think I just want to stay home, enjoy my boo. Because we was running around here acting like little kids. Ask Chef Mike. Chef Mike stopped by the house. He's like, what are y'all doing? Listen, we enjoying Jesus. How about that? Right. Praise him.
And I think too, what's important, even if you're single, is being able to not carry your baggage to your next relationship.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, and this is the thing. And please understand, when a person do show you who they are, don't believe it, but don't compare it to what you left. Right. Because you left it for a reason. Right. But believe it. Believe who they are. Right. Believe it.
Lucia, you looking good for 69.
Go on, girl.
No,
I'm talking to the people over here. We got another camera.
And then Daryl, Janice, and there were a couple people that were commenting. Thank you guys so much from Facebook. And then Michelle did too, right? Thank you so much for contacting as well on Facebook. We appreciate you all.
Hey, we thank y'all so much.
Melina, I'm so sorry, Melina.
So as
Thank
you
you
see,
guys so much for tuning in. We so appreciate you.
Chef
guys.
Mike stopped by to do his thing.
So we went and burned down the kitchen. Appreciate you, Chef Mike. Chef Mike, how can they get in contact?
Yeah, Chef Mike, how can they get in contact with you?
You gotta contact me now before I keep blowing up. But you can reach me on Facebook, Craving Flavors, Instagram, Craving Flavors. You can reach me on cravingflavors.com. Also, if you're getting married, we're on the knot and the wedding wire.
Sweet,
so check us out.
Sweet. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Thank you all so much from TikTok to Facebook for stopping in. We so appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Remember to go to, before I say I'm done, go ahead and sign up for our challenge that starts on Monday of next week. We're going to be there all week long. And we are here every Thursday night, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Kitchen Conversations. Just having a conversation as we're cooking dinner. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. I'm your girl, Tamika.
I'm your boy, Chef G-Rock, that did not do no work today.
And Chef Mike. And this is Marriage Takeover signing out.